What's going on, guys? BladeZilla here, and today we're taking a look at a really cool one. A really cool one from Pro-Tech. You've probably seen this one in the store in a couple different configurations over the last little while. And this is my first Mordax that I've actually done a video on the channel. I've done some Malibus, some TR3 Integrities, aka the manual, and I have yet to do a video on the Mordax, which is kind of crazy to me, considering how many of them are actually offered in the store. And figured I'd grab one, a pretty special one actually, and do a quick video on it. So that's what we're talking about today. Sit back, relax, enjoy the beautiful sights and sounds of the Pro-Tech Mordax Custom. I believe this one is called, let me grab the box here, Custom number 3. It's the 2024 Mordax Custom number 3. And this is what's on the docket, so beautiful day for that. As a reminder, check out BladeZilla.ca. That's the site. In Canada, lots of good stuff for sale and ready to go. Some CKFs, some Shiros, some Pro-Techs, a bunch of Pro-Techs actually, Microtech, you name it. And if we go over to Pro-Tech, we can actually probably see one of these guys if the site wants to cooperate, on time obviously. Got a bunch of these cool ones on there. So there you go. Anyway, there you go. Quick little shout out, BladeZilla.ca. That's not what we're here for. We are here for this gorgeous, gorgeous knife. And I don't even know where to get started. I guess let's talk about the Mordax itself. Really nice design. It's been around for a few years. They were like crazy popular for when they were first kind of popped out there. And ever since then, they've kind of launched a bunch of different variants and versions, everything from S45 blades to now Magna Cut, and then this Various. I guess this is called the Vegas Forge Shark Tooth Damascus. So pretty cool. And if we get the camera to look at that directly, you can kind of see why they're calling it the Shark Tooth. Pretty Shark Tooth-esque, if you want to call it that. And that layering on the Damascus, just gorgeous. Just gorgeous. They're all unique as well. I've checked a bunch of these as I've gone out the door, and they're all different, all unique. So this may be a little bit different than the one that's on the site, etc. Pretty cool. It's obviously got this really cool button as well. I think they're calling it a pearl button, and I'm just going to close this off so the camera stops freaking out and I don't cut myself. So it's got a pearl button on there, which looks really cool. Handles full stainless, 17-4 I believe, stainless steel. And it's kind of got a nice, almost like a belt grind finish to it, but it's like ultra flat, like it's been planed. Really cool. It's got that hex pattern to it. It's a gorgeous handle. Obviously you can see it's a fingerprint magnet. With any type of interaction, it's just going to hold on to all your fingerprints. It's a heavy knife as well, being stainless steel. It's not a handle material you typically see a lot of. In the Pro-Tech business, they do a lot of aluminum. So when they're doing stainless steel, it comes with a sense of heftness to it, especially coupled with that Damascus blade. It's a heavy knife. Not crazy like you're going to be unable to lift it or use it or anything, but I think stainless is a nice pairing with that Damascus blade because they're both heavy, so I'm assuming the balance should be quite nice. And then we've got that really cool, that blue tie, surprisingly, but tie, deep carry clip anode. Looks gorgeous. Attached with 2 screws, hopefully you can see it there. Nice little window that you can kind of punch in through, and if you wanted to take it off or do whatever, you could do that. It is not, you cannot take it and put it on the other side. As you can see, it's not drilled for that, but you can take it off. I've seen people do that if they just want to throw it in their pocket. In terms of feel in hand, the Mordax is timeless. The clip fits nicely. Has a bit of a hot spot, I'd say, on the top here, just because it is protruding a little bit. It's rolled to kind of reverse grip it, but I'd say there's a little bit of a hot spot on that one spot. No jimping on the blade either. Right, just raw dog all the way down. Pretty cool. And then I am a size extra large glove, and it fits my hand just about perfectly. So if you're a probably a medium-large hand, you're going to really enjoy this. It's going to be lots of room. Or if you're an extra-large glove, you can still definitely use it. Lots of room, no problem. Let's get some measurements on this bad boy, and then we'll kind of get into the weights and some comparisons. Man, the camera is just trying so hard to change, I guess, brightness or white balance or something. The stainless does not reflect into the sensor too well. So I apologize if it's kind of bouncing around, but it is a very bright knife when the light is hitting it. We're coming in overall length 8 1/4 with a blade length of about 3 3/8 sharpened. On paper, they're probably claiming it at around 3 1/2, maybe even 3 5/8. It's a really good size. And to give you perspective, let's grab a couple models. And you know me, we're going to do some Shiros. So let's do the neon, right? And then let's do, where's my quantum? There we go. Throw a quantum up there. The stonewash tie definitely doesn't bounce light as much as this one does, but should give you a good indicator of size. I'd say it's kind of airs between the two, more of a stellar size knife, which is fine. Definitely a taller handle. Where do I have a Benchmade as well? Just there we go. Let's do a tagged out, or not tagged out, bailout. I think this one is, just for size. And then I think I've got my Blurpo pair of 2 here as well that I open a lot of boxes with, as you can probably see with that blade. But just to kind of give you a size comparison, I know these are different magnitudes of knives, but everybody seems to know, you know, the bailout / bug out size, and then the pair of 2s, pair of 3s, etc. People love those. They sell boatloads of them, container full loads of them. And then I guess, you know, what do I have here? I guess we could do the Rask. Pretty cool size comparison as well. And if we want to do the Roosevelt, it's going to look big up top, or no, small up top by comparison. But there's your Rosie comparison, just in case we wanted to do that. And yeah, the camera is just freaking out. It's really changing light here. I apologize. Can only do so much because it is almost like a super mirror polish. If I move the knife like this, oh, there we go. It brightens up to like the actual color of the knife, in that it is very stainless with a little bit of color hiding in that honeycomb, which is cool. Let's get a weight on this guy as well. So it's got to be in the 5 ounce range, just because it's stainless. I can't see why it wouldn't be. But never know. Maybe it's more. I don't have a spec sheet whatsoever on me. So any guesses? I'm guessing 5. 6? Ooh, not even close. 6.1. So there you go, a 6 ounce knife. So on paper, I'm guessing they're claiming it around 6. Let's turn that off. There we go. So on paper, they're probably claiming it in that 6 range, but I'm measuring it at 6.1. They're all going to be different just because of that Damascus layering in material. And I love just looking at this, guys, the location of that flipper tab in relation to the pivot. It's always a nice indicator of how well that thing is going to fire out. And more than anything, just, you don't get this often, but the layering on the actual flipper tab on the metal, it's just so good to look down this at the different angles and see the Damascus, right? Even on the blade, just look at all that layering. And the light might not do the best job of picking this up right now, because it's probably adjusting, but I love that kind of stuff. Now they are individually numbered, and I think, yeah, right there. So this one's, there are only 50 of them. So this particular one is 28, I think is what I'm seeing there. I can't really tell. Either 28 or 26. Pretty cool. You know, pretty basic spot. I'm assuming over time that would just come off anyway. I would like to see that more kind of inside the blade somewhere. That would be cool, or on the body on the inside. Which, let's take a look at the inside of these pockets on the millwork, because, you know, being a 6 ounce knife, like, how much is really taken out of this? Turns out a lot more than you think. Holy, quite a bit more. Huh. So imagine how heavy it would be if they didn't mill out the inside of this. That is nuts. Wow. So big pockets, 1, 2, 3, 4 on each side, parallel and matching. Pretty nice. To hone out some material. And then I guess it's just kind of sandwiched together in the back there. You can see no gaps as I saw earlier. Pretty cool. And, oh, okay, now I see that pearl. The button was kind of looking a little blackish to me, but when the light hits it just right, it actually kind of pops white. Surprisingly, the camera's not going to show that whatsoever. Certainly a good looking knife. That's awesome. These particular ones, you know, of all the Mordaxes that I've had come through, a lot of, it's interesting, like, it seems to me like people either like the absolute basic configuration of the Mordax, okay, or they throw on like a DLC blade, or kind of pick their material, MagnaCut versus S45, and then there's a big jump in their price range and then they go into their customs. There's not a whole lot of in between. We're talking maybe $100 of options, and then they'll double, triple, quadruple in price sometimes. So it's kind of interesting to see and compare the two, because, you know, on one hand you've got an aluminum knife, and I'm talking the standard Mordax, an aluminum knife with a MagnaCut or S45 VN blade, and they're great. Like, you know, I'm probably gonna downcycle one of them at some point here and use them every day and test out MagnaCut for opening boxes and tape and stuff that I do a lot. And you know, just to try it out, because they're really a good value item. But I think those are around $250-ish, maybe $300 range US. And then you get into these that are like $900 or $1,000. Like, it's just a big jump up, I find. And the quality between the two, I'm gonna say this, and I'll die on this hill, they have a completely different feel to them. A lot smoother, I find, on the customs. You know, I'm assuming they're more hand-built versus machine-built, although there's an argument I can't seem to find if the Malibus and Mordaxes of the standard variant are hand-built or not, but they just seem to have a little more love and attention to detail in them. Which you would hope so if it's double or triple the price, quadruple, like, you would hope so, right? And then obviously the materials, the you know, the pearl button instead of just like an aluminum button or whatever. You get the deep carry clip, it's anode, you know, things like that. They add a lot of really cool factor that, you know, if you're out for dinner with your friends or whatever and you pull one of these out and you put it on the table next to your keys, you know, it's a conversation starter, right? You start talking about how layering of Damascus works and stainless steel and milling and anodizing, and it's a conversation starter. Like, you're not pulling it out to cut your steak, I hope, or vegans, you know, cut your chickpeas or whatever. But that was a joke. You know, although people do that, I've seen lots of people go to dinner and they pull out these knives and they, you know, they refuse to use a restaurant knife, which is crazy, and they've got to use their fancy knife. So I don't know how we ended up at this, but here we are. So I really dig this. I think right now I've actually got a couple different variants of this knife in the store. I think I saw one actually as I was scrolling the video there. I think I've got this in a standard, it might be a MagnaCut blade, or it might just be like a, I can't even remember, it might be S45. It might, whatever, it doesn't even matter. But I think, let's check the balance, the Damascus. Oh yeah, Damascus is a nice balance. That must be why. With the stainless, it just seems to really hold itself nicely. Wow. Shark tooth Damascus. Made in the US. The knife. Super cool. And do we have anything on the... Doesn't have any branding or anything on the blade in terms of who's making that. You would think, but no. It's almost, now that I look at it too, it's almost got a more of a bronze color to that Damascus compared to, I was kind of expecting like just steel, like that kind of light gray color, and it's certainly more bronze than anything. Certainly a great looking knife. And I don't know, is it hard to get that kind of, I don't know if it's a DLC look to it, but it's got that layered black. I don't know how hard that is to do, but typically the Damascus I see is just very subtle on the coloring. So, good question. I don't know how they do that. Nonetheless, very cool. This one's a particularly good example, I must say. Super nice. Yeah, and as far as the stainless steel side of things go, I know there's going to be people watching this being like, I don't know if stainless steel belongs on knives, if they should do titanium. I have to ask that question. And maybe it's obvious. Why isn't this titanium? Like, what did I call it? 17-4, I think, stainless steel, whatever. In a gridlock, that's their gridlock pattern, which is kind of becoming super popular on a lot of the other knives. I'm just, like, Vegas forged shark tooth Damascus. So why isn't this a titanium? Like, why do they just stick to aluminum? Like, have they done some titanium stuff? Am I missing the boat here and maybe I just haven't seen it yet? But yeah, you'd think they would do some more titanium models, especially being a US company. You know, but then again, like you look at like Microtech and they really stick with aluminum as well. So who knows? Who knows the reasoning? I think it works. Definitely adds a substantial weight to your hand when you're feeling it, and you know, it's definitely a comfortable hand or knife in your hand. It's beautiful, gorgeous conversation starter. I haven't even touched on the fact that it's got this cool lanyard hole as well that's not interrupted on the sight lines. It looks really sharp as well. And I think I've talked about this, you know, I've seen it on some SOCOMs and some other models, and I've always asked the question, you know, when they put these holes in the back here on Microtechs and Pro-Techs, has anyone ever split the two halves apart with a bead or got it stuck on something and the lanyard cord, whatever, pulls it apart? Like, that would be my first question. I can't seem to find it in any of the forums, but I would love to know if anyone's ever had that happen. Because, you know, to me it's always been, you know, the standard Shiros are kind of what I compare basically everything to. And they've always, let's just grab one here, like grab a Hattie. They've always done the two halves, sandwich it with back spacer like this. And that to me is how you make a knife. Just, it's done so well, and the back spacer is, you know, that's where you attach the lanyard. And there's never any problems. You can't pull that apart. But with this guy, you wonder, is that going to be a problem? I doubt it. They know what they're doing. This is not their first rodeo. And then as far as the gridlock handle pattern goes, I think that looks so good. Adds a little texture to it. That's a good looking knife. In fact, the more I spend time with this, the more I just go, oh man, this might be the knife that I end up with. It's just got so much heft to it. It's simple. You know the old rule, keep it simple, stupid? That's like this knife. Like, it just ticks the boxes. And this video is going to do no justice to how good this kind of like satin flats or hand rub satin, whatever you want to call it, on the handle. Like, there's just no justice to this because the camera is just freaking out with how much light it's bouncing back. It is truly a very bright colored knife, and the camera's just trying to make it very dark. So there you go. That is the Mordax Custom number 3 in stainless Vegas Forge shark tooth Damascus with a pearl button and that blue, I think they call it the deep carry clip. Yep, the blue tie deep carry clip. Got a few of them still in the store, and then I imagine the next couple months we're going to be seeing, as the shows start to kind of happen a little bit more, they're going to be some more variants and versions of their custom program as they kind of launch out. So 1 of 50. Get them while you can, because once they're done, they're done. Which is just nuts to me, too. Like, people just love these Pro-Techs. They love the Pro-Techs, and they're not really known to be the limited edition knife maker. From my perspective, like, no one really thinks there's only 50 of these, but then all of a sudden they're all gone, and they're like, well, where'd they go? I thought I could just buy that stainless steel Mordax. It's like, nope. 1 of 50. Then they're done. Cool knife. Really cool. Okay, well, the camera hopefully doesn't freak too much out when I put it back under the parallel light. So there you go. Check out BladeZilla.ca. Follow me on Instagram, BladeZilla.ca. TikTok, Facebook group as well. Or throw a thumbs up on this video. On YouTube, follow, subscribe every Monday and Thursday morning at 5 a.m. Mountain, or I guess it'd be 4 a.m. Pacific, 6 a.m. Eastern. Full-length videos. And that's kind of what I've been doing now for about a year and a half. So hopefully keep that rolling. All right, guys. Well, have yourself a great week and enjoy it. And welcome back to the office if it's the new year for you. And we'll keep this ball rolling into 2025. Thanks, guys. Have a great week. Peace.